Hey guys, how's it going? It's Python. Welcome back to some more Haikyu Fly High. Today we are going to talk a little bit about the Summer Trio. We're going to take a look at some team variations for the Summer Trio when they come out, and well, when Aona comes out, the last of the three, and in the future. What changes you can make to current teams or teams of the time when they come out, to help you for the future, to plan towards it, and what are going to be some better teams if you want to maintain them for long, which is kind of the drawback of these three units, is purely the fact that, in my opinion, they get power crapped, right? There are better options. If you're planning for the future, there are much better options. Now, when they come out, they're going to be incredible. However, I do feel like they are going to be a lot more short-lived than they were on JP, purely because of two reasons. Number one is the positionless training, which kind of ties into my second point, which is that positionless changes obviously came out halfway through Kuro. So that's the thing. However, Kuro on global, probably, if you follow the order, would be after Tsukishima. So it would be Aone, then Tsukishima, then Kuro. However, on JP, in between those two sets, there was UR, Sakusa, and Komori that came out, but we already got UR, Sakusa, and Komori before we moved on to SPs. So that gives even less time for these guys to be in the meta before Kuro and Tsukishima come out. And Kuro and Tsukishima can help them be better, but it will also stop them a little bit because of the block variations. Because we're going to see, we're going to go through a couple of teams. The best team variations you can make with these units is going to be power attack and block. Those are the two best. And with Kuro and Tsukishima coming out, and especially Kogane as well, block teams are going to be better. They're going to be not really necessary. They're going to be better block teams than the ones with Bokuto and Akashi, which means that the best variation for these guys is going to be the power attack, which gets stopped by block teams. However, the fact that you can have both a block teams and power attack teams with these three is really nice for versatility. That's really nice. So and again, once they come out, they're going to be really strong. The best team in the game for sure. However, before the changes, a team like this was even more dominant than I feel like a team similar to this is going to be now, just because of the fact that, again, you always had power attack. Block teams only had SP Suga as a setter, really. I mean, Kogane too, but he wasn't that great. And SP Suga, again, because of the positionless, you could only really have one middle blocker in the front row, which didn't help as much. Whereas now with Tsukishima and Kuro coming out as well soon after, you can have three middle blockers in the front row. You can have three players with block stats in the middle row, which can make your obviously not only help your playstyle have more block tags in it, but just more synergy towards your playstyle as well. So a team like this would be really good because, of course, you get the Kurodani school bonus with the two SSRs, which gives you 20 team morale at the start of the match, and that means that you can substitute your players out and you can bring in Ushijima. And obviously, you can still do that right now. However, to get a power attack, you'd need to play Saru, who is an SR and is not really good. So you would have to play him in order to get the power attack. You can play this for block, and again, this is a team that we're going to talk about. This is another really good team for the block variation, but in my opinion, the best team you can build with them after they come out on global is going to be this. This is going to be the best with Sakusa, Komori, and Hoshimi Hirogami, who are going to be almost, I hope people have them. I mean, the SPs are just miles ahead. They are probably like, I don't do tier lists. I don't really like ranking characters because I always say it depends on the team, right? It depends on your team composition. But honestly, SP, Hoshimi, Hirogami are the best units in the game, and they're the most versatile units in the game. They're so good. So they're gonna be everywhere. The URs though are still really good. They're still quite versatile as well, especially Hoshiyumi. So I'm hoping a lot of people will have them. So a team like this is probably gonna be the best team in the game, and it gives you a bit of leeway to build into a block team as well, like we talked about. We'll get back to it in a moment. Good substitute for that would be with Nishinoya and Tanaka. Now, this is just better in general. Komori helps with team morale whenever he sets, he uses his set skill, so that helps out quite a bit. But having Saksa and Hoshimi as two independent attackers doesn't really mean that you absolutely need to rush to your team morale because you do have other good attackers in your team. Here, obviously, Tanaka and Nishinoya are not as good at units. Tanaka at skill resonance 4 is really good because he helps your team boost whenever he scores with his ult, which is really nice, and gives a massive boost to your team for the rest of your set. However, their bond here increases your team morale by 10 whenever you score. And Nishinoya, whenever he enters the court, he increases team morale as well. And also, when he uses his ult, he reduces the cooldown of a power attack ult, which, again, during team morale can help Bokto use his ult multiple times, which is really, really going to be helpful during that team morale awakening whenever he can use his ult. So this is another really strong, especially if you have Nishinoya at least skill resonance 2, so that he doesn't waste that much stamina. And Tanaka at ideally skill resonance 4, but, you know, they're here for the bond. So yeah, they're really good. If you have Tanaka skill resonance 4, really, really strong as well. But again, this is better. For the block variations, this is probably the best that's going to be available straight after. The three of them come out straight after Aone comes out. Now Suga, obviously you want to have as the server. I'm not doing the rotations because it's cleaner to look at it like this. It makes it a bit more obvious as to what characters I'm talking about. Anyways, Suga is going to be your setter. He increases team morale whenever he sets. Now here, you definitely want to have Akashi on the front row in order to dump, because you only have Hoshiumi as an attacker, aside from Bokto, so you do want that option. But this is another good, strong block team variation. Again, you can give up the bond if you don't have Nishinoya, but you do have Suga, which is kind of weird. But if you could go Komori here. You could go for Komori here. Komori and Suga, you give up the bond, but you do... get a bit more morale whenever Komori is gonna set the ball. So it's an option, but realistically, if you have Suga, you probably have Nishinoya, hence to why I did this. And then obviously with the Fukurodani SSRs, which again, they're not gonna be here long term, especially since the Fukurodani coach got added a little bit on JP. So probably whenever we do get coaches on global, they're gonna all be added at the same time. And the coach increases your team morale by 30 at the start of the match, and when you're in team morale awakening, you get a boost of 50% power attack, quick attack, and whenever you enter the first spike, you get a 50% bonus during team morale awakening. So yeah, that's really good. Oops, I clicked on the game by accident, sorry. I just have the game in the background. So yeah, that's it for a block team. And again, if you have this, you can just swap out Komori and Saksa. So it's you know, thinking about the account as a whole as opposed to just teams. You could obviously do this. You can swap them out. Then you have your block team. Obviously, with these two, that's your power attack team. So it gives you options. You could go for a receive team as well. Maybe if you have Hinata Kenma, maybe you could throw in Hoshiumi. Like if you have what is it, this team, and then maybe you could throw in a receive, like I don't know, maybe Konoha, right? You could do this. Obviously you're gonna miss a middle blocker here in the middle, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, you could do this and then sub in Komori. So there's definitely a lot of options going forward, which gives you a little bit more of versatility to build different play styles, so that you can always play teams when you're at an advantage. And also for the block team, where is it? This block team, this one actually works really well against the power attack variation of this game, because Komi is really strong against power attack, against power spikes. He also reduces the opponent's team morale, which is really nice, and Hirogami on the serve can lock the opponent from gaining team morale from the rally that he uses the serve skill on. So this is actually quite nice to counter power attack teams of the same that are also using the summer trio, which is really, really nice. Again, as I said, for the receive, if you have these two, maybe you can build something like this. Not as good as the other two, but still a really good option. And now going forward, of course, with Hoshiyumi Hirogami coming, with Kura and Tsukishima coming into the game, a block team variation like this would be really good. You would just swap out Hoshiyumi Hirogami. Now, in this sense, this is a bit too many characters. Maybe not a lot of people are gonna have access to this. This is really good. However, you could just not play Bokuto and Akashi and just go for Hoshiyumi Hirogami. It's gonna give you a 6 out of 6 on the block, and it's probably a better team as a block team. So yeah, this is the kind of the issue here. Maybe if you don't have Suga and Nishinoya, if I go back to the to this team and I put these two in here, then maybe you could throw in, I mean, to be fair, you don't even need Tsukishima. If you throw in Kura, you have a block team, and if you throw in Kura instead of Hirogami, you get a receive team. Yes, you lose a couple of bonds, but just Kura by himself can change your playstyle without really going through the SSRs if you can wait for Kura to come out. But I will say that Kura and Tsukishima together are probably, I don't want to say they're a must-have, but their bond is really, really strong, like one of the best bonds in the entire game. So I do think they are worth it, especially when Kogane comes out, because afterwards, right, you're gonna have, maybe you play a team like this if you don't want to get into the SSRs, but then after Kogane comes out, you can go for this, and this is a really, really strong block team. Especially you have Komori right now here. I mean, this is kind of the same as this one, but instead of Nishinoya and Suga, you have Komori and Kogane. This is better. Kogane has a very strong bond with both Tsukishima and Aone. He helps the team a lot because he increases team morale whenever he sets. So Kogane increases team morale when he sets, and Komori does as well, which is really, really good and really helpful. And this is gonna be a really, really strong block team. But on the other hand, again, if you have these two, you could probably go for these two, and you could have a better block team. This would be better, but yeah, and you're probably gonna have them anyway. So that's the maybe that's a little bit of a drawback there, that's just a better block team. But this, again, by itself is just a very, very good and very, very strong and solid block team. And if you want to move to the power attack variation, which was I mean, I had it right here. And I'm gonna throw you away here for Kunimi. So instead of using You Are Hirogami Hoshiyumi, you could also swap out to Kogane Kunimi. So again, I'm putting all these teams in one. You don't have to. Maybe if you don't have Hoshiyumi Hirogami, you just go for Kogane Kunimi, or maybe you go for Kura and Tsukishima. Like, you don't have to have all of these teams available to you. These are just some variations that you can make once these guys come out. This is just a better version of Hoshiyumi Hirogami, in my opinion, with Kogane Kunimi, especially if you have Kunimi at Skill Resonance 2, which is going to help your stamina, because their bond kind of reduces your stamina a little bit. So that helps out quite a bit. But with Kogane coming out, again, as I said, block teams are going to be a little bit more, you know, more common, and when it comes to that, right, when it comes to a block team, it's gonna be better to go for maybe this than the wait, no, I messed it up, sorry. I meant with Kura and Tsukishima, right? It's probably gonna be better to go for this as a block team as opposed to with Akashi and Bokuto, and because they're a block team, they're obviously gonna counter your power attack team and they're gonna beat you a bunch of times. So this is why I'm talking about it being a bit more short-lived than it was on JP, because of the positionless now. Block teams can go all over the place and get this massive bonus, and they have so many strong bonds as well, and they can counter your power attack team by getting the maximum 25% bonus as well, which is, again, one of the early teams that can get that is going to be the block team, whereas the other teams cannot really get that while still maintaining as many good bonds as the block team can get. So yeah, that's kind of the drawback, because, you know, Sakusa and Komori are already out. They also don't have so Kura and Tsukishima are probably going to come out straight after. They don't have enough time to adjust. And when it comes to the power attack variation, again, you can have the power attack variation, but once the School Festival Trio comes out, it's just better. Like, you can build something like this. Obviously, again, this would not be the rotation. It would be something like this, maybe. But again, you could go with Tendo instead of Aone, maybe, but that's not really talking about the trio. I do feel like they get outdated. Like, this is a team you can make. This is a good team that you can make. This works, in my opinion. It works with Tendo as well, maybe even better with Tendo, because Tendo increases team morale whenever he blocks, and Iwaizumi, if you have him as skill resonance 2, can increase team morale whenever he receives, and he resets his own receive ult, so he can receive multiple times per rally, which is really nice. So this can work. This is really, really good. As power attack teams go, this is good. However, you don't necessarily need them. Like, if you have, I don't know, you are Hoshiyumi Hirogami, you can throw in them in here, and you don't necessarily need the summer units as long as you have the school festival units. But something like this could work, could be a bit of fun as well, so that outside of Team Morale Awakening, you will rely on Shijima, and when it becomes Team Morale Awakening, you rely on Bokuto. That would be a bit of fun, but again, not really necessary. And I have this right now on my JP team. I can show you my JP team right now. This is the team, and I've got Bokuto and Akashi on the bench, and I can swap to something like this. Obviously they're a bit under leveled, but I could swap to something like this, and this would be a lot of fun to try out. Maybe I'll make a video on it. But when SP Hoshimi Hirogami come out, you don't leave them out. Like, you just don't leave them out. And I know it's gonna be a bit of time before they come out, like a long time since the summer trio comes out, but once they come out, then there's not really much room for them. Like, there's just really not, because you just do this, and then again, if you don't have Tendo, you can go for Kuro maybe. Aone's alright, but I think Tendo's just the better option here. And then this is just, there's just no room. Like, even if you had just Bokuto, right, and maybe you had Hoshimi Hirogami, like this could be a thing, I guess. You could have room for Bokuto. That's alright, but I think their bond is so good, especially if you're free to play and your team, you're obviously trying to beat stronger teams. If you have the advantage, your players' basic stats increase by 15, and the winter sports members increase by an additional 20. This is a must-have. These two are a must-have. They are the best units in the game. They're the most versatile units in the game because of that bond as well. You have to have them, in my opinion. So that's when they lose a bit of value. But obviously, it's a long time until then. So for when they do come out, they are going to be the best. They're going to be somewhat versatile as well. I messed this up fully. Like, I don't even know where I am right now for this team. Let's see. So when this team comes out, this is going to be the best, and it's going to be really worth it because you can obviously swap into this one as well. This is a good variation. So yeah, that's it really. I'm sure there are other variations of these teams. I kind of stopped talking about them when this school festival trio comes out because that's better. Now again, this doesn't lose the value. Again, a team like this has a lot of longevity as well. If you swap you are Hoshimi Hirogami for SP Hoshimi Hirogami, and then maybe you swap them for them, and then for the SP Hoshimi Hirogami. It's better with SP Hoshimi Hirogami here, right? It is better. It's a good team, even now I'm sure it is, especially with the Fukurodani coach. But the school festival trio is just better when it comes to power attack, and when it comes to blocks. Long term, you're gonna want to build a specific block team that's good at blocking and can have as many block units as possible, so you don't have to carry Akashi and Bokuto, because block teams are one of the easiest teams to have max 6 out of 6 on the team advantage. So yeah, the team does get power crept for sure. They do get power crept, but when they come out, they are really good. And the fact that you can have two very good power attack and block teams just adds a bit of versatility, which is quite nice. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what teams I missed, what did I forget to mention, and all that stuff. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.